Alright, so my son wanted to join us today. Hopefully he'll be quiet. Alright, so we're going to be talking about Veves. So Veve, sometimes spelled with a V-E-V-E. Also spelled B-E-Y, B-E-Y, meaning Bebe. So it's basically a symbol in Haitian voodoo. You can Google it. It acts as an antenna or a beacon for the Lao. The Lao are the Haitians, the voodoo spirits I talked about in the video. So basically they are obliged to descend to earth through ritual when you do this, when you use these. They're made with gunpowder, wood ash, etc., etc. So if you've seen the last season of American Horror Story, it's mainly about witches and a voodoo priestess played by Angela Bassett. So you will see her, making Veves when she wants to do a spell or something. If you go see my Super Bowl video with Beyonce, remember she self-deified herself as Madame Brigitte, which is a voodoo spirit. If you see how they were dressed, if you Google Madame Brigitte images, you'll see that she's dressed mostly in corsets, nice tight black corsets. So that's how Destiny Child were. They were dressed during the halftime show when they did that ritual. And also, if you look at her Veve or sigil, it looks like a corset on a spine. So it's basically a spine with a heart at the top and a triangle at the bottom. It's basically a dress tightened up with a corset. All right, so you can Google that. Talismans. Any object, sacred or profane, with or without appropriate symbols, which had been charged or consecrated by appropriate means and made to serve a specific end. Usually talismans are used to draw things to you. The opposite of that would be an amulet, which are usually used to keep things away. And they're usually already magical or charged or consecrated. So basically, example of that would be like a cross. So if you're wearing a cross, usually keep evil away. In the allegories, usually keep vampires away or bloodsuckers away. So a cross already be charged because it already has a universal meaning. A talisman is something, it can be anything. It can be a rock. So basically it doesn't have to be, what it can't be is a thought or an idea. It must be an object, a physical thing. Second, it can be any object. That means it can be a rock, a seashell, a finger ring. Shh, let me finish. Alright, it doesn't have to be anything sacred, but if you wanted to use it, it can certainly be sacred. It may have words or symbols on it, but it's not necessary. It must be instilled with magical energy. So either through consecrating or charging. So consecration means to sanctify. The opposite of consecrate is desecrate. So you just basically want to associate it with the sacred. Alright, so in order to charge it or consecrate it, you have to be in an altered state. So you can be in an altered state through meditation, sex, yoga, chanting, dancing, etc., etc. Alright? And finally, it needs to have a specific purpose. So you got to have a purpose for the talisman for it to work. Alright? So a seal, that's basically a paper talisman. So you basically make your talisman, your sigil, whatever have you, and then you want to seal it with a magical circle or a triangle. So this is a good book. Secrets of Magic Seals by Anna Riva. Basically what's good about this book is they have a whole bunch of different seals in here. Some examples of maybe a Veves and stuff like that. But you can use this book and actually trace these or cut them out if you like and use them. So this tells you about how to make seals. Okay, yeah, A, B, C, D. Alright, so now I'm going to move the camera down some, so I'm going to show you a little bit more. We talked about sigils in another video, but now we're going to use these magical squares. So they basically have one for every day of the week. So Sunday, sun is Sunday, moon is Monday, Jupiter is Thursday. Don't write on yourself. So Mars is Tuesday. So let me move the camera down. So give me a second. So take a minute. You might want to pause the video and write down the numbers. So each number, like on Saturn, each row going across up and down equals 15. So all in each box, each magical square, all the numbers are going to add up, going straight up and straight down. So let me show you the last two, which is Mercury and Venus. Venus being Friday or Lucifer. Mercury being Wednesday. All right. So now, let me let this down. Alright, so I'm going to go with the same sigil I used in the other video. The same sigil I used in the other video. So the same sentence I should say. So I have abundance and I am prosperous. So the first line shows what I did by getting rid of all the vowels. The next row, I got rid of all the repeat letters. Now on the other video, you will either transfer to keep it in English letters or switch letters. Come on, don't mess with it. You will either switch letters to another letter, a magical alphabet, or you can just keep it in English, and then you'll make your own sigil and by combining the letters in a funny way. With this one, you don't want to do that. You basically want to transfer them into a numerical form. So if you're familiar with numerology, with the English alphabet, you just write out 1 through 9. So A through I has a number 1 through 9, then the next 9 letters, and so on and so forth. So basically for number 2, you'll have a B, a K, and a T. 3 would be C, L, U, so on and so forth. So you're probably familiar with that. So basically you just want to, H is equivalent to 8, V is equivalent to 4, so on and so forth. So these are the same letters I ended up with last time. And what I've chosen to do is use the Saturn square because it's the easiest one. Alright, so you can use it based on the day of the week. So let me give you a little background on what all the magical squares are known for. Alright, so Jupiter, which is Thursday, relates to attracts good luck and fortune, assists in business matters, religious affairs, and with travel. And so Mars is more related to favor in battles, wars, and quarrels. So whenever you want to initiate a war, so like September 11th was started on a Tuesday, it's always something to do with Mars, the war god. That's why CDs and everything are released on Tuesdays. The Mercury, which is Wednesdays, is basically aids in knowledge, both spoken and written word, so on and so forth. So the Moon is for imagination and domestic problems and stuff like that. Saturn relates to capacity to perform jobs and carry out duties and responsibilities. So it's more restrictive. So Saturn, or that Satan energy, is more restrictive. So it keeps us more restricted and so on and so forth. That's why Saturn or Satan has a bad name in allegories. So I just decided to use that one. Alright, so all you have to do is start off on the first number, which is 8. Let me get this chair out the way. Alright, sit down for a second. So you go from 8 to 4. Over to the 2, down to the 5, back over to the 4, up down to the 3, back up to the 4, over to the 7, over to the 9, down to the 1. So you might want to overlay something on this. So whatever you would come up with, that would be your sigil. Then you just want to, if you want to make it into a seal, you will, of course, cut it out, put a circle around it, and do whatever else you want, and then make sure you consecrate it. So while you're in a meditative, in an altered state, you basically want to consecrate it through one of the means I already mentioned. Alright, so I hope that was clear enough. Sorry for the interruption from my little son. He just wouldn't leave me alone today. Alright, hope you enjoyed.